Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to episode 155 of Limb Lengthening Live, where the patients interview the guests. And today we are going to talk about another topic that has been kind of on the mind of a lot of prospective patients that I've been consulting with lately. And it's like, what story do you tell others after you've had limb lengthening surgery? I think it's a really interesting topic because it's still an I would say this surgery is not really well accepted by the masses just yet. So a lot of patients want to know, should they have a cover story? Should they tell people the truth? Should they, tell a mix of the two, or is it nobody's business? So I think it's a really interesting topic. We're going to talk about it, but you guys can pump in the chat what you plan to do or what you've done if you're a limb lengthening patient, and some tips and tricks for other patients that would be really helpful. But today we actually have a guest on the show, Master Distractor. It's really interesting because he had his surgery about 3.5 weeks ago, and he's going to give us a little update before we get into the main topic of discussion today. So, guys, if you notice, I am in a new studio. This is a new podcasting software. It's by Riverside. I thought it was higher quality. Hopefully, my mic is actually giving good quality. Better camera, all that stuff. There's some features that I'm getting used to, so be patient with me. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Master Distractor, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So you got to give us an update about how things are going.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me with the world premiere song of the new Lengthening Live episode. Great. I'm doing really good. I am on the from the ERC. I have distracted about 13. I distracted 13.75 millimeters, and I'm also already noticing a difference when I'm going out a bit. It's pretty fantastic. In terms of like pain wise, it's all very manageable for me at least. There's some, during the nighttime, some bits of pain there and there. But otherwise, like right now, I got nothing. Like I'm just, there's no pain. Just trying to do my stretches, seeing physio every day, and I went to did my follow up with Dr. Gidelovich today, and so far the gap is being formed, and there's no issues, and everything's looking good.
That's awesome, brother. That is crazy. So you said there's no pain. You're just kind of like in this waiting phase, which is really amazing. I think that a lot of patients, they really look forward to that 3.5 week mark. Some patients a little sooner, some it's a little later. But regardless, the pain does go away, and then you just get to see the magic of your legs getting longer. So,
Yeah.
how surreal is it right now to have been thinking about the surgery for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden have it done and see your legs get longer, and realize that that's going to be permanent height once you are healed up and able to walk with it, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like waiting for so long and having all this happen now, it's super surreal. Like having all this happening. It's like today I went to Dr. Gedolich and I like listened to her interviews for so long from your podcast or your interviews that you do with her, and it's like she's like right next to me and I'm like asking her questions. I'm like starstruck already. So it's like it's like I'm so like I've been waiting for so long to do this and I've seen so many other people do it and it's finally happening. It's very surreal. In terms of the legs length, I can't really notice them growing longer yet, because I don't see them like getting them that long really right now, but I do notice the difference in height, at least when I'm like next to my mom. I can see the difference. And when I went into the CLLC office today, I can see a difference for sure. And when I'm next to the physios, I feel like I'm almost their height, and they're definitely taller than me. But like so, I don't see the legs getting longer yet, because I'm not that. I feel like I'm not far enough, but I do feel the height difference,
That's
and it
awesome.
is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, and I just talked to a patient, I think the other day, and I think they were at about 3.2 centimeters, something like that. I can't remember exactly, and they were blown away, right? Like they were like, "Man, this is so crazy. This is surreal that my legs are getting longer, and that once I heal, this is going to be permanent height. No more shoe lifts, no more anything like that."
Yeah, yeah. I'm so
Because I know
looking
you were a
forward to
shoe
not.
lift user
Yeah,
as well, right? At
yeah,
one point,
yeah.
yeah.
I've been like 4-inch heels for freaking 15 years. It like that wearing that pain was far more unmanageable than this, and that was way more painful than any of the stuff I'm doing right now. Like, I mean, I know it's annoying to have walking aids, but at least in Canada, like here in Montreal, we walk around everywhere, so it's not like I'm not at a wheelchair or anything. Like I was trying to speed walk 2 3 days ago, trying to get footage for just to see me walking, and I can walk pretty fast. But you got to be careful, and a lot of things do take a lot of time. It's still not a game. It's very serious business, but still, I feel like it's nothing compared to what I went through with the heels I wore for 15 years.
Right,
Honestly,
and just having that desire of wanting to get taller, that now
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all over. It's now
yeah,
get through this process and then live your life happy. So let
yeah,
me ask you
exactly.
this. So you said that you used to wear the shoe lifts and stuff like that. How big were those? Were they a couple inches?
Mine were ridiculously large. So altogether I'll get a 4 inch boost.
Ooh.
Because they're like big, like I don't know if you know what Timberland boots are, like big winter boots. They're like big black boots with like stacks upon stacks upon heels inside. So that would on total give me a 4 inch boost. So I don't think most people wear that because that's a bit ridiculous, but I would wear those. Um, Even summer, winter, anywhere I go. But I could get all, I would wear them with black pants, so you don't, people don't question it that much.
Mhm.
So yeah, but that was my heels. But yeah, the mine were quite huge. So
That is huge. Well, that is excellent stuff. Really good to hear about your progress so far, Master Distractor. I mean, you've been a prospective patient for a while. We've been talking for a while. Now you're a lengthening patient, so we're
yeah,
following the process.
I didn't want to be for that long, but stuff happens. So what can you do? But yeah, but it's done. It's done. We're back to operation. Everything's operational, so we're good to go.
Absolutely. And I know that you have a channel that you're uploading videos to. I'm gonna look through it and maybe I'll be able to share some of your content in a future live stream. But appreciate that. That's helping out this limb lengthening community because there's not a lot of information, even as you see some clinics doing all kinds of videos and stuff, but like there's still not a lot of information about this process. So it's really helpful.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just trying to get to my diary. My diary is a bit behind in terms of the time I'm uploading them, but I write it down on my personal notes and then I try to make it nice and grammatically correct and upload it. So the timestamps might be off, but it's still my story you kind of do.
Absolutely. So we also have Ahmed on the show. What's up, Ahmed?
Hey, what's up, Victor? What's up, MD? How y'all doing?
Doing good, brother. How's it going? So, for those of you that don't know, Ahmed, he's also a bilateral cosmetic limb lengthening patient. He had a surgery, I think, was it late February, Ahmed?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Late February, had a few hiccups along the way. I think he had uh, one of the crowns breaking the nail. He's going to tell us how he's doing ever since that incident. So, Ahmed, take us back. Tell us what's happened.
Yeah, so I've been through kind of a crazy process. Like, I had surgery again. Both my crowns broke,
Oh,
both nails, and which was weird because I wasn't even weight bearing hardly at all. I was more so sitting down, and my knees kind of went to the side, which the rotational force kind of caused the crowns to break. So even with the P2 nail, they say 75-pound weight bearing. Um, it doesn't matter how much weight bearing it is. I think the crowns are a lot less lift the crowns can take as far as the rotational force. But since then, I had surgery again on April 3rd. So about a month out from the second surgery, and I'm doing great. Like, honestly, the second time, the pain was a little bit worse after the surgery for the second time because I had both surgeries the same day for both legs. So um, it was rods getting taken, nails getting taken out, and then new nails getting put in on both femurs. So the healing was a little bit more difficult, but after 2 or 3 days, I was back to normal. I'm still like 95% on the wheelchair. I'm not walking at all. So MD, you're saying that you're walking. I mean, kudos to you, bro, because I'm not walking at all.
mhm.
Ye-
You know?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm walking around everywhere. However, in terms of the rotational force, I've been instructed to really watch out for that. So I'm very careful. And I think a lot of the patients that are my cohort, they're very careful not to do certain rotational movements. So we've been told, instructed to do like certain movements to avoid at all costs. However, actually loading my like walking that I'm encouraged to do among some other patients I know on my cohort. But yeah, I'm walking around everywhere. Some of the other patients I know are definitely walking around as well.
Yeah, and that's that's interesting that different practices, different doctors are kind of giving different advice. I'm just being careful with
Yeah, yeah,
you know with not walking. I still feel, Victor, I still feel a little bit of that's walking on ice feeling, that swaying when I put weight on my heels. Even when I'm sitting down, my heel kind of tends to swivel, like I can feel it in my femur. Um, and I don't know what that is. I'm not sure where the screws got implanted in my knee or in my hip, or how the angle of the nail is, which is causing that. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm just being careful. Maybe it's just me, how my body is shaped. I don't know.
No, I think I actually heard another femur patient say the same thing. So I don't know for sure what that is. Because I haven't had the femurs done for lengthening. So, but I just based on other femur patients saying that did not have a crown break, I think that some little swivel or what you're talking about walking on ice is natural. It might just because it's, you think about it, it's a telescopic implant and it has a little swivel as it, has the magnet and the way it strokes. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can ask a surgeon, but or if the company ever spoke up, but we know how that goes. But
Yeah.
overall, you had the replacement nail swap surgery. How far along are you in lengthening right now?
I'm 40 centimeters, 40
Oh,
and 35, 40 on my right. So about an inch, uh, 1.75, something like that on my right. And then, like 35 centimeters, sorry, 35 millimeters on my left.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
just a little
40,
bit less.
40 millimeters and 35 millimeters.
Got it.
And it's also funny. I don't even feel taller. As crazy as that sounds, I'm standing up. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even notice it.
You don't notice it yet? Well,
No,
it's crazy. I
all right.
think it's so weird because the patient that I talked to the other day, he said that he did notice it. Maybe he noticed that he saw his legs get longer. MD's like, what would you say, 1.7 in MD?
yeah. I'm not even. No, not even 1.7. 13.75. So one
Oh, really?
centimeter and 1.3 centimeters.
Oh,
So really not. Really, really. Unless I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But I do feel taller for sure. I can notice certain things like a bit lower. So,
well,
What
but
what's also crazy is, I think because my hamstrings are still tight, I'm doing pretty good as far as my stretching is concerned. I talked to Socrates and he gave me great advice about the pool, and I think Natalie talked about getting in the pool as well. You guys talked about that. I heard that.
yeah,
I'm excited about getting in the pool just to kind of, because I'm not walking, so I think getting my legs
yeah.
water is going to be really beneficial. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited about doing that.
I'm like I honestly don't know how these people how people do this without walking. Like I would like for me, all my pain and everything comes when I don't move. The moment I don't move, or like right when I like during the middle of the night when I like slept for a couple hours, and then I feel pain. Like I don't know how I would do this without movement. Like that's uh, like
You bring
really
up you bring up a great point, MD. Really, you do because that's the whole point of this. It's like we know that they're not full weight bearing nails, right? Like, or
yeah,
they can't handle that much capacity. However, you're supposed to be able to partially weight bear. You're supposed to get around
yeah,
on your legs. It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like the implant's completely like fragile. But it seems that the nails that Ahmed had and whatnot, and some of the other patients, there were some issues with those nails, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
think better safe than sorry for him. He just wants to get through, get his 3 inches, and get
y-
out. But you
For
know,
sure.
I think the company should, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just they should do something, right? Like what we were waiting on the Precise Max, but we don't know when that's going to come out. But honestly, for the Precise 2 to be having this issue, it's kind of frustrating for sure.
It is.
Also, I mean, I'm lighter too. That is also something to
That is
note.
true.
And
How much do you weigh, Ahmed? How much do you weigh?
I'm 150. I'm light too.
oh no, he's light too. Yeah,
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'm around 140. So
Okay,
You
very
know,
cool.
what
Yeah.
one additional piece of advice that I would give people who are going through this, if they're at my state, this is just personally something that I find very helpful, is I got immobilizing knee braces that go from the middle of my quad down to like the middle of my calf. So it helps me sleep at night. That way
Mm.
I'm not fearful of that rotational in the middle of the night.
mm,
And
yeah,
it kind of helps me sleep on my back because I'm not a back sleeper. I'm a side sleeper. And when my legs are completely immobilized and I can't bend my knee, it also helps when I wake up in the morning. My hamstrings are like, you know, much more nimble, you know. They're not as tight. My quad gets a little tight when I do that. So when I bend my knee, when I take the knee brace off, it takes a while for me to kind of stretch in the morning, just bending my knee. But it's really been helpful as far as getting sleep.
I'm using something far more ghetto. Just a towel between my legs so that I don't cross my leg over because I'm not supposed to do that for that rotational thing. So I just put a towel in between my legs so that if in the case I like have the urge to like put my leg on top of the other, I don't do that during sleep. So that's
That's
my
right.
far more ghetto thing to do.
Or some
Yeah,
sort of
no, if that helps, that's great. Like I used to put like the pillow between my, you know, my legs and all that, but this
Right.
makes me feel so much better,
Yeah,
like when I'm sleeping, that I don't accidentally, like, you know, use a rotational you know, movement. So that kind of helps.
fine.
Absolutely. No, yeah, you got to watch out for that, especially after the first one happened. But it sounds like you're well on your way. You're already halfway there, so that's great to hear. So, all right, guys. So what I want to do, I want to kind of talk about the topic of discussion today, which is like, do you come up with a cover story? Do you kind of like tell the truth, or do you not tell anything at all to people who around you in your network or inner circle, or whatnot, about this surgery? Because it is cosmetic lengthening. It's not fully accepted by the public and the masses, but what are we, let's talk about this. So I think there's really four different things that patients can do. They can be totally transparent, tell everybody around them. Don't have to tell the world, but like tell their inner network. That builds the trust. Like, hey, look, I'm inviting you into this very vulnerable aspect of my life, and I'm willing to, face your judgment or your support. And then you have like the partial truth. You tell them like, it was for a corrective surgery, like a discrepancy or a deformity or something like that. And then it's like, do you come up with a cover story? Like, I had spinal surgery, or I had an injury, like a bilateral ACL tear from skiing or playing basketball. Or is there complete privacy? Like, you're like, screw you, I'm not telling you anything, right? So what is let's talk to MD. Let's take you first. So like, what do you plan to do, or what have you done? Did you tell anybody? Let's see, family, friends, and then like outside of that, that network, like let's say coworkers or anybody like that, who have you told about the surgery?
Yeah.
What did you tell them?
So to build this, I tried to get people into my support network, and some people are very close that I said, and I didn't accept it. So I kind of had to let them go for a while because it was being a bit toxic. But then I did find the support network, my mom and two of my best friends and a few other people that I showed a bunch of your videos, and I made a presentation from a bunch of your videos and other patients and linked documentaries together saying, "Hey, I'm not the only one going through this shit. A whole bunch of people are going through this, and I'm also so I did that. I don't think I had to do that, but it helped me get it out, like as my coming out, this like as a coming out of this issue kind of deal, like giving it to them, and they accepted that. So I do have a few network of people that that help me through this. I guess them, that's emotionally or whatever support network wise. Um, other than that, I would like to be more open and like actually like, show my face here and, do a Google review with my face. And it would be very nice if I can do that, but I don't think it's accepted enough or I don't feel comfortable enough. So I will be going with the corrective surgery approach, I believe. Um, so I had some valgus and then we had to do valgus corrective surgery. You guys didn't just notice it because I was always wearing big black pants. So, that's something I could do, or something anyone else can do as well. Or I can do on a car accident kind of deal because I was in a car accident a long time ago, so I can also use that. So, I mean, I told my very, very close networks, and they're actually helping me. Like my mom is with me. I don't know how I'd have done this for the first couple of days without anyone with me. So yeah, that's what I did so far, and that's what I plan in the future for employment and everything. I don't think they need to really get in your face about this, so I'll just go with corrective surgery, and they should really back off after that. They shouldn't, if they're gonna keep questioning it, then just throw fucking medical words at them and they'll back off. Hopefully, unless they're also medical professionals, but to say, but there's something wrong with my alignment. I have to fix valgus. a deformity, and I had to have corrective surgery for that, and that's that. Yeah.
That's excellent, man. I think so. You kind of have the corrective surgery approach, like a little bit of a cover story as well in there, like you said, an accident or something like that. So it's a
Well,
partial
I can't
truth.
use both in case. I'm trying to figure out which one to do in
Okay.
case like so far. I said corrective surgery, but you can't just go corrective surgery and correct it at the same time. So far it's been corrective surgery, and I'm
Okay.
probably gonna go with that. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. No, that works. I mean, I think
yeah,
corrective surgery is the most believable, right?
yeah,
Because you can say I had some sort of deformity and I want to have longevity with my joints, right? It's very
yeah,
believable. And if they ask you why, you have legitimate reasons. But
yeah.
there's always the ethical, the moral obligation of like, hey, should I tell this person the truth, or is it the ethics that
Right.
comes into it? So it's like it's dependent on the person. But Ahmed, what did you do, or what do you plan to do?
My story is actually, honestly, I'm a very great person as it is, and I'm not a good liar at all. So blatantly honest. But for that reason, like I haven't really disclosed any information. I'm kind of solo. I do have a best friend who lives with me. I haven't even told him. He hasn't even asked. He's just like, "Oh, you had a surgery," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's helping to like take care, help me out, move around, around the house and things like that. So it's been a blessing having him around. But he hasn't even really asked, and I haven't even said anything. And I don't even really stand much. I don't walk much. I'm pretty much confined to the wheelchair, so I can't even tell that I've gotten taller. But he kind of helps me gives me rides to physical therapy and things like that. And yeah, I haven't had a reason to tell anybody anything yet. I think coming out of this, when I'm standing and I'm getting around and I'm noticeably taller, like 3 inches taller, I think at that point people might ask questions. Um, I just don't want to seem like a dumbass, when they ask me questions. So I honestly don't even know what to say. I'm taking, you
For
know,
me, I don't have a problem with that because I always been off heels, so no one's gonna notice. Like I'm just going actually back to what I was like what they always thought I was, right? Um, so for me, I have a unique situation that no one's ever gonna notice. I'm always on heels. Um, but for others, I think you had a good story. I think you did a video on this, Victor. You did like people we wear heels for a certain amount of time, and then you slowly transition into the surgery. And I think I'm pretty sure there's a video on this. Like you wear a bit of heels for a bit of time, and then you transition. You did the surgery, and then people won't notice as much. But because people are not that observant sometimes, so
It's so
I
true.
think
It's
people
so
need that.
true.
Yeah,
It's called the sleight of height. I came up with a
yeah,
sleight of height technique
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
sleight of
yeah,
hand is a magician, but like sleight of height, and it works really well. A lot of patients kind of done it before I termed it, but it works incredibly well, and people don't really pay that close of attention. They do pay attention
yeah,
if you didn't do it and you gained 5 inches. You did quadrilateral lengthening. You were like 5 inches taller. Like, whoa, you grew taller. But
yeah,
then some
yeah,
people don't tell them anything. They just let it perplex into their brain. They're like, wait, how did you get that tall? But I think the fact of the matter is like I think that you got to have some sort of off the tongue statement that can kind of tell what happened to you in a one shot or a snapshot. So the patients, I mean, people don't ask you and pry too much because then it gets annoying, right? People even ask me about my discrepancy. I was like, yeah, I had to get surgery because I broke my leg when I was younger. They're like, why? And I'm like, because I did.
yeah.
It's like, leave me alone. But I don't know. I think it's great that you have the corrective surgery story, cover story. And you're right. People just don't, I guess the word is tolerate lengthening for, and I don't want to say vanity because this isn't what you guys are necessarily doing. You're doing it for like,
I mean, I tried. Like, this is literally what happened. I told, like, some of my really good friends didn't were unsupportive, and I just had to cut them out. Like, I can't deal with this shit right now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got a bunch of other lengthening things to do, and then the other half was good. So like, I don't know. Like, it's like half of the people would accept it, the other half don't. So I don't know what. It's basically
you know,
like the medical community. They're like divided on this thing too. Like maybe like half the medical community is accepting of this, the other half is
it's so true.
completely.
It's so
So I mean, what can you do? As people are people, and just pick the ones that are going to help you, and then discard the rest for a bit of time until you get your things done. And you don't have to throw them away forever, but it's just you. I could. It was not healthy for me to keep them in my life for a while. So
Yeah.
that was
I
You
think
know,
in the case of like, oh, go ahead, Ahmed.
no, I'm sorry. I was saying that I think that I'm gonna go towards the injury route, like a weightlifting injury or something like that.
Hmm.
Because I will have to come up with a valid excuse. I do have a twin brother who's the same height as me. Prior, so there are going to be questions.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
yeah.
funny. That's that. You're stuck with that one. So you'll have to come up with an
Are
accent.
you are you maybe by any chance you're 20 in your 20s you can maybe just pass off with a
Growth
growth
spurt.
spurt.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm
Yeah.
I'm 45 years old.
Okay.
So it's more of a
Very late growth
boomer.
spurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess the next topic of discussion is or like I guess the same topic, but is there a line of transparency? Because like let's say you're in the military or some sort of I guess career where you need to be totally honest or transparent about your health and physical status. What do you do then? I think then you just try to get it done when nobody knows about it and then heal up enough that there's no remnants or residual like lingering effects of lengthening that people can tell that you had something like this done because otherwise it could jeopardize your career, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
I think that then it becomes it really factors into your ethical reasoning and like what do you do, like do I lie or do I keep my career or do I switch, so I think that's where the pressure of this topic comes into play. A lot of patients are okay
I,
with a white lie. I think a white lie is fine. Tell them enough
I
that
honestly wish can we can we just say we have height dysphoria and it is a real thing and I
i
had to get
don't
that treated.
I
Like I
don't
wish
think the
we can
world's
say
ready for
that,
that.
but
Yeah, the world's not ready for
like
that yet.
I wish we can because then we can there's like pathology and you can treat it with something.
Yeah,
This is the problem, this is the treatment. If you can say that, then it wouldn't be such this weird, this stigma, I feel
the
like, but
problem the
it's
problem with
not
that is
there.
that people who are 4 foot, let's say 11, 5 foot
Right.
one guys who are perfectly fine with their life, they have no, I guess, symptoms that are treatable, right? So they're just like,
Right.
oh, you can survive, you can live with it, you can live with it. That's the word, that's the term
Right.
they use. So then it becomes, cosmetic or elective, and it's not necessary and beyond elective because elective can be corrective as well. So I think it's a really interesting, thing. So it's like I think I'd fall into the accident thing, or like I said, corrective surgery. I think that would be for me. It's really easy because I had multiple injuries when I
Yeah.
was younger, and I could say I need to get this surgery done now, 10,
Yeah.
12 years later, So, but anyway,
Yeah.
what do you guys in the chat think? Let's see what you guys in the chat think. Let's see how this chat thing works here. If it works the same. Joined by JLo, joined by audio.
That's what I got too. Joined by the audio.
Oh, they're in the studio, the studio, the back end here. I got it. Who is this here? Hi, bro. I have a question. Is 5'10" to 6'3" for lengthening unsafe? Okay, so that is what 5 inches. Can be done. Oh, it disappeared. I forgot. Oh, it's on a timer. I see. So let's bring his question back up. So MD, you want to take that question?
5'10" to 6'3", so it's 5 inches. Yeah, it's safe if you do it in two segments. So if you do, usually, what surgeons would recommend is that you do femurs first. Try to get the max out of that for 8 centimeters. And if you still want to go for more, see how you feel. Usually you want to wait at least 6 months, 6 months to a year later. Then you can go for tibias and then try to go. Usually it's 5 centimeters, but you can, depending on the surgeon, you may be able to push past that. But you may be able to achieve that with two surgeries.
That's right. Yep. Quadrilateral lengthening. It's a thing. I actually just had a call from Above Tempo. You guys know him as Brett. He called me the other day. He said that he ran his first mile, I think on Monday. Then he called me yesterday and he said that he ran his second, like another mile yesterday. He said he did it in like 20 some minutes or so, but he did it, right? And he was out playing golf. He's playing, he's going to do workouts and stuff. And he did a double quadrilateral lengthening. He went up to like
Yeah.
6 point some inches. So he says that his friends say that he's about 6'1" or 6'2" out and about. With shoes, he's like 6'3", and he's coming from 5'7". So it's
Right.
possible to do double quads, right? You can go up six
Yeah.
plus inches if you really want to.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of money and a lot of time. So, so recorder.
I
That's
think Nail Legs is doing that too. So
what's that?
Nail Legs is doing that too. Double
Is he, oh,
quad.
that, is he doing? He's doing a double quad as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta catch up with him. I gotta see what he's up to. All right, let's see what this next question is from Jonas. What should one search for looking for those braces? Oh, that's what. Who was talking about that? Ahmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on Amazon. I got they're just knee immobilizers. You can
Okay.
look up any type of a knee immobilizing brace, and it fixates your leg. It's prevents it from bending.
I might get that too, man. I'm like, I'm just gonna this ghetto towel nonsense. Yeah.
Hey man, it's whatever you got to do. Um, how much did you lengthen? How much did you lengthen so far, MD? And then how much did you lengthen, Ahmed? Again.
I can go first. I'm very early on. I'm 13.75 millimeters, so 1.3 centimeters, 1.4 centimeters, let's say. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 40 millimeters on my right leg and 35 millimeters on my left, so about 4 centimeters and 3.5 centimeters.
Awesome. And what heights did you guys start with at MD?
I'm 5'7".
Okay, and Ahmed.
I'm around like 5'3.5", 5'4".
That's awesome. You're gonna see a world of difference. It's gonna be crazy. Can't wait. All right. So Janitol is saying, can you can you get the guest to talk about arm lengthening, Victor? I'm planning to get quadrilateral at Dong Hong Lee's clinic and later arm lengthening for proportions. Would like to learn more about it. Yeah, I gotta find an arm lengthening patient if they would come forth. I mean, I guess because it's a limb lengthening, leg lengthening channel. Either that or it's just not as common. So I don't know. I'll have to do my diligence and search for that, put out a caller and see if we can get somebody to talk about it. If anybody's even doing it, you'd be surprised. I don't know how Brett looks because I haven't seen him in person since he did his double quad surgery. But if you have a decent arm length, you can get away with
Yeah.
quite a bit, like a 5.5, sometimes 6 inch gain, and be okay. Like it's not going to be like
Yeah.
a lot of people have shorter leg lengths for their overall height, right? Like, and there are studies that prove that having longer legs are more visually appealing, more aesthetic, more cosmetically appealing. So it's up to you. I mean, like I said, I do consultations where you can bring your pictures, we can look at them, and I can kind of give you a visual assessment. But besides that, you'd be surprised that you probably won't even need arm lengthening. Depending, you're saying quadrilateral. Okay, so you're gonna go for the
I
full 5, 6 inches. So,
As far as I know, like I just know like if you for me my arms are quite long, so I definitely can get away with it. But for
mhm,
most people I think can. And what I know about it is just you can only do humerus lengthening. You can't do the forearm. It's the upper arm you could only do, right? Humerus. Um and I don't know, for me, I mean I would never do it because I think it's a huge, like, gotta spend so much more money on doing that too. And I think you could definitely go get away with it unless you're starting out really short, like pocket height to begin with. Maybe then you would need it.
yeah, absolutely. Jonas is saying that that's also what I'm going to say, even though it's a slight focus on the discrepancy. So he's going to use a medical corrective surgery. He wants to have healthy joints and an active life. That's right. That's a good way to kind of throw people off. You're not really throwing them off. It's corrective surgery, right? It's making you taller, so you're not not as short, not as close to the
For me,
ground.
my hip dysphagia.
Right.
Like I'm not lying.
You're not. You just it's just another way of doing
I'm
it.
like, so for me, like when in terms of the moral, whatever you're saying, I'm not lying. I'm correctively fixing my height dysphoria. Corrective surgery.
I
So
love it. All right. So TVB saying what to tell people. I will tell no one at all. So he's going to pick the last path. I mean, people are doing a lot of plastic surgery and not one ask them questions. That's true, but this is height. So it's a
yeah,
very
it really.
visual attribute, right? Like I can see from afar, maybe not super far that like that you're taller, right? If I knew you, right? We're talking about people who not necessarily strangers, because strangers will never know who you were. You pass them on the street, they're like, oh, they may give you more respect. They're probably going to give you more respect now that you're taller. But your family members, a cousin, an uncle, your coworkers, um, group of friends, people like that. So or if you're a celebrity, if you're going to get this done, the world knew you as 5'7", now you're 6 foot. Well, what do you tell them? So I think there's a lot that goes into it, right? It's going to be very personal. But anyway, yeah, I think that's great. But you don't have to tell anybody anything. You can just say, "Leave me alone." A lot of people, what they do, they go to international clinics, or they they go on that forced Jason Bourne sabbatical that I've talked about, and you disappear, and you come back taller, and you just like blend back in and don't say anything. You can do that, So it's your choice. What were you gonna say, MD? Sorry, cut you off.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
think
That's okay.
you can also say maybe other car stories. I'm trying to think of like maybe like growth hormone or something. Like I feel that's more accepted
It
than
is.
leg break.
You got to play on the person's ignorance of medical knowledge, right? Like we don't know.
Yeah.
Do they know what growth hormone can do after your growth plates have fused? So they don't
Oh
have.
yeah, the thing I was gonna say is like also the you said like height is a noticeable thing. Also, it's somehow very controversial for reasons I don't understand. I just don't get it. It's like other plastic surgeries are okay, but this is not for some weird reason. Like even like what the things that happened with in Canada with the dog when Dr. Gidovich came on like 2 weeks ago. Somehow this is targeted, but
Yes,
not everything else isn't targeted. It's very weird. So I don't know. It's a
I
bit
have something to say about that. I think that the she said it was the government. The government was notified or alerted by the board of surgeons. Either one, they were jealous. Two, they like to say, "Oh, it's unethical or
yeah.
unnecessary." They're jealous, right? Like
I mean,
she's
it's not
making
just even
bank.
here, like not even just like whatever happened here in Canada. It's just somehow this height changing it is some sort of very controversial thing. Like I don't.
I don't even know that's what, but you got to understand. Yeah, it's controversial, but like it's controversial. I don't think that's for the medical community, right? I think
Right.
that's you got to know that the medical community, the orthopedic surgeons, they're split. Why, right? They think it's
Yeah.
unnecessary, but these the surgeons that do perform cosmetic limb lengthening, they make a lot of money. This is out of pocket pay, so you get better cash flow that
Right.
augments your revenue than insurance based procedures. So you got to think about that, right? So you got to know how the surgeons operate and what they're after. It's a business, everybody's in it for making money. But I don't know, I think it's somebody's in the lobby here. Let's see who this is. James. Hey, James. James, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I was going to say this is new software, everybody should be working. I was like, I
Okay.
trashed the old stuff, so this should be working. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Been following your channel for a minute. I finally figured out how to join the the link instead of like the YouTube live.
I appreciate it, man. Glad to have you here. Yeah, James. So today's topic of discussion is basically, I just want to kind of get your take. First of all, let's figure out who you are. Are you a prospective patient, current patient, or have you already had this done?
Prospective patient, man, just trying to figure out the financing. I don't want to go the cheap route, so it's taking just a little bit longer, but I'm in my early 20s, so hopefully I can figure this out pretty soon.
Gotcha. How tall are you?
5'9.5" right now.
Gotcha. What's your goal? What do you want to get to?
I'm trying to get to at least a solid 6 foot,
Okay.
maybe 6'1" if I could. But I was trying to determine if it's worth going that extra route to go 6'1" because I don't want to over lengthen,
I
you know.
like it. I like you've been following the channel, you've been doing your due diligence and doing your research. Okay, James. So answer the topic of the day. What would you tell people after you got limb lengthening in the future?
Uh, what I would tell people after I got limb lengthening in the future, I'd just be honest with them if they were actually able to notice, because I don't feel like my proportions would be that noticeable, like, from a 5'9" to 6 foot. I honestly don't think most people will notice. But if they really ask me what happened, I'll just be honest with them. I'll say, hey, man, when I was growing up as a kid, I used to play sports and stuff, and I always had like trouble doing stuff like back squats and front squats. And I just noticed that my legs, like my arms, they look super long, bro. My arms are almost, I got a 6'2" wingspan at 5'9", so it just already looked kind of dorky. And if they really want to know, I'll just tell them like, hey man, my legs, they've always been kind of weird. I went to the doctor and they told me that this would be something that that can help fix me out my proportions proportions. And for the most part, people are going to talk about you regardless. If you don't get to surgery, they're going to call you short. If you get to surgery, they're going to try to call you insecure. So at that point, you might as well just, do what's best for you.
Man, I love this new software. I can actually clip that and turn it into a short. Thank you, James. That was awesome, man. No, I agree with you. I think that you had a few different ways of kind of getting around it. You said that, hey, it's going to be proportional, reason. Then you also said that, look, I had to get it done for, corrective. So I think that what I really like, and you said, like, I don't care what they think, so you had a few different reasons in there. But I think that once you actually get it done, the pressure becomes real, right? Like, because then you actually did it. Because I have people that before surgery, they said that they'd like, oh, I don't care, but then they get it done, they're like, crap. Now, what do I tell people? And it's okay, it's perfectly fine. But you may be different. You may just go through with what you just said, and if not, and you change, that's fine. The world still hasn't opened up to cosmetic limb lengthening just yet. Hopefully, in the future they will. But thank you for that input. But do you have any particular questions for the guests here on the show, the panelists, or we're gonna go back into the chat here?
Yeah, yeah, I did have a few questions because I was watching other videos and I was looking at other people's proportions, and I've noticed that I don't know if they're lying or not, but they've been saying that if they stay like under 3 inches, that most people don't even question it, like they don't even notice the difference. And then one thing that I would recommend for people who are going to get like I don't know, maybe like a huge increase of height is, man, move out of your hometown, man. Like if you're going to plan the surgery, you can, like let's say you live in Texas, man, move to Miami after you get it done, or move to California, move far away. And then if you're in your early 20s or late teens, it's a little more, they'd be like, oh, we haven't seen you in 3, 4 years. You got taller. It's a little bit, you can kind of slide it in that way.
Yeah, and the really cool thing is that you said you're in your early 20s, so the growth spurt thing could technically work for you. You could say, "Hey, I saw an orthopedic surgeon, and I was a rare case where I had my growth plates were still open, and I grew a little bit with some growth hormone." You could even use that excuse, right? Because what are you like below 25? I'm guessing you said early 20s.
2023.
Yeah, you could use that. You could use that. So there was like a rare case of a
Yeah,
patient who didn't stop growing until 25, 26. So it's rare. So.
yeah, man, all this stuff going on about the microfractures, because I actually have a cousin, man. He plays basketball. I wish I would have played basketball when I was younger, man. He literally grew in like 2 years. He grew from 5'10" to he's solid 6'5", only because he just plays basketball every day. Every day he plays organized AAU basketball, and that's a real growth spurt. And it's like, man, so I just noticed that, if you actually start working it, like for the past year, I've been stretching, trying to get prepared for the surgery, and I've actually had people, I don't know if they're lying or not, but they're like, "Hey, you look like you got a little bit taller." And I'm like, in my head, I didn't even get to surgery yet.
Well, the interesting thing is that there's also, little mini contractions that happen. We get tight little spasms throughout the body, and as you stretch, a lot of that soft tissue will elongate. So you do get some natural structural height back, meaning your anatomical height. So you will get as tall as possible. I don't know how much more it'll get taller than that, but that's cool stuff. All righty, awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's go back into the chat here. Mike, Mike says. I just finished my humerus. So he lengthened his humerus. It's amazing what I got away with, lifting way more than I should, but only because I had to. Mike, can you kind of elaborate about that? Did you get humerus lengthening? Because you might be the first patient that I've talked to in a long time. That'll be
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
it's the first one I ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We
Yeah.
haven't heard about an arm lengthening patient in forever. And he sounds like he did it for one side. So it might have been a discrepancy or a deformity. Um, let's see here. What else we got in the chat? Elsa, hello. Thank you for making these lives to help people. My question is, how much is it safe to lengthen? Elsa, that's a very tough question to answer. But yeah, I think that for one, you're going to want to consult with a limb lengthening surgeon. They're going to look at you, assess you, your height, your bone length, your flexibility, basically your resolve to be able to go through with this process in the first place. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think that, for the most patients, they can go for like I'd say anywhere from 5 to maybe 8 centimeters on the femurs, and then anywhere from 3.5 to 5, maybe more centimeters on the tibias. So that's the average. Some patients fall below that. Some patients can go above that with some tips and tricks of different surgeons and what they do. But yes, so those are the averages. But that's not advice. Again, medical disclaimer: talk to your surgeon. But that is what most patients have gotten away with. Like MD is going to go for 8. Ahmed's going for 8. How much would you go for, James?
Uh, I believe 8 centimeters is 3 inches. I don't want to go over 3 inches. I was gonna try to break it up, like just see how people react to it. I noticed that people kind of like slow changes, so it's almost like when you boil a frog, you turn up the temperature like slowly. So I'm thinking like if you just pop out 6 inches taller, everybody's gonna notice. But if you go 2 inches and then wait 2 years and then do like another inch and a half, like I don't think anybody will notice that.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that. It's kind of like weight loss, right? Like since the beginning of January till now, I'm down like 37 pounds. Everybody notices because it's such a rapid change. Time flies. But if I did it over the
Right.
course of a year, they're like, "Oh yeah, you look like you got a little leaner than last year. Like you lose weight." It's kind of like a peculiar speculation, but they're not really sure. But right now, it's like, dang, dude, 2 pounds a week. What are we doing here? So anyway, that's awesome.
Oh,
Uh,
going back to the topic, sorry, Victor. I also lost like 50 pounds since the last summer, so that also helps me. 'Cause I look so different either way, taller or not. That
that's
helps. So
true.
that's
Weight
also
loss.
another thing. Maybe if you're a bit on the heavier side, just lose the weight. They can't. You confuse the shit out of people because they can't tell if you grew taller or you lost weight. They might just go for the weight, and you just pass off the height as well. Because
That's
I'm
so
kind of
true.
doing that too sometimes. So, um, but yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think that's. Oh, okay. Okay, Mike
Yeah,
said.
another
Yeah, go ahead.
thing, I feel like if you have like taller friends, like a lot of my friends are over 6 foot two. So as long as I don't get taller than them, another thing I don't think people will notice either.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
That's very true. That's actually a really good point that you bring that up, James, because I've actually had patients on that after lengthening, they hung out with their taller friends, and then the taller friend said they may have looked at them briefly, but they didn't really notice the change because they're just coming up, right? Now, if
Yeah.
you become up in your eye level, they're like, no, something's up, right? But like if you, let's say it's a 6'5" friend, you're coming from 5'9" to 6 foot, they're not going to notice a whole lot, right? 3 inches, it's noticeable to you, to a lot of people on your level or below, but people above you, it's not as noticeable. It's all about a vantage point. So Mike,
Right.
Mike is saying that he okay. So that was his excuse. Okay, he's saying that if I were to get limb lengthening done, I would say that I had to correct the bow in my bones. Okay, so he's saying like bow legs. Okay, I see. All right, so here we go. J Lo saying I've told my girlfriend and my best friend. I personally wouldn't tell many people, but I really don't care what others think. So he's going along with you, James. When I do, because most people wouldn't understand how it feels being around 5'6". Kudos. I got to give you props for that. Like it's so true. That's another thing you can do. You can tell different people different stories, right? Like the inner circle, you can say, "Hey, look, you're gonna keep it tight knit. We're gonna keep it in house. We're not gonna let this slip out." You tell them what happened and why you're doing it, and then like coworkers and I guess extended friends and family, you don't have to tell them everything, right? So that's cool. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
what? What's up, James?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I'm kind of in a similar situation. Only told two people so far, my best friend and this girl I was talking to, and at first she didn't really understand, but I just had to lay it on her. I'm like, man, listen, bro, like, I be waking up in the middle of the night. Sometimes my legs be hurting. I'm a little bit bow leg. I don't think it's that serious of a bow leg, but if you look at my legs, they look like super short, stocky. Like it's just like I look like if I was a girl, I would be thick. Like no Diddy. Like I don't wanna have thick thighs.
That's funny. But now be careful though. I'll tell you this. When you go to get your consultation, James, limb lengthening surgeons will actually hold you to that. Like you got to be careful because they think you're coming at it from like a body dysmorphia standpoint. They're not going to perform the surgery, at least not the ethical ones. So what you want to do is say, hey, look, I just want to get taller because I want to feel better about myself, or like feel like I am on the inside, or something like that, right? But if you say I wanted to get it done because my legs look short, then they're like, oh, this is a cosmetic-y thing. They don't want to. These are like I call them the black ops of orthopedic surgeons. They're advanced orthopedic surgeons, so they don't want to like they'll do the surgery. They love the money. They love all the helping you guys, but they don't want to dip their feet into the vanity pool all the way. They don't want to say, "Oh, I'm doing it for body dysmorphia people. I'm not. I'm going to play Legos with this patient." They don't want to do that. So be careful what you say with them. I'll just give you some tips. So, um,
No, no, thank you, man, because I don't want to go in there and say the wrong thing. Because, man, it's you don't understand. Or you probably do understand. Like my whole life up until like sixth grade, I was always the tallest kid at my school. Like it's just to go from being the tallest kid, everybody was like, "Oh, you're so tall," to going to being like of this like average height or just But compared to my friends, I'm short. But like to the rest of the world, I guess I'm average height. But it's like it was just like a huge culture shock.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I hear you. Uh, okay, so it's Juju saying, would I be able to add as many inches as I want in one surgery? For example, from I'm 5'5", but I want to be 5'10". No, that in one surgery, that's too much. That's too much. 5 inches, don't do that. That's too much. You want to be careful. Looks like some patients are getting you on that. Okay, so we have Clononfu Walkham is saying fat embolism is rare, but I'm curious about it. What is the risk if I do tibia LON? I heard that when each leg is done on separate days, the risk is negligible. Should I worry about it? I'm going to prior. Yeah, it's not as it's really a low risk in general, but if you do it separate days, it's very low. Um, LON still has reaming because you're getting an internal nail put in, but if you're doing it separated by a few days, you should be fine. So, and Parihara, he's a cautious surgeon. Um, okay, Jonas. So everybody's going back to this. I love the topic of discussion today. I have slightly longer leg than the other, so my back is slightly uneven. So you have a little scoliotic curve, which can in fact lead to back pain. Yeah, scoliosis. That's what I had in the future. So yeah, you just focus on that part. Yeah, you can definitely do that. All right. Cool, cool, cool.
Man,
That was a
that's
lot
a
of
good one.
yeah, it's a really good one.
I actually
Oh,
do got back pain. I need to get that checked out.
I got another backstory or reason. Uh, since I wore those heels, I always have back pain. So I correctly surgified myself by fixing that. So I don't have to wear the heels anymore, therefore fixing my back pain. So
That's another thing. See,
also
it's
corrective
correct.
surgery.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So now they're asking 5'5" to 5'9" in one surgery. Still too much. I think that you might get away with like 4 inches, like if you were if you did this super, 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 super safe with a good surgeon. But I think that, and again, discrepancy patients have done that much before, but I think that most patients, surgeons would not do that much. So,
You
yeah,
know,
the
I'd like to add one thing.
sure.
Um, I think a lot of the stigma around why we have to make up backstories and things like that, it's not only because there's the insecurity aspect of it, and you're a man and you don't want to be look like you're insecure, but also from a family standpoint, it's like, why are you putting yourself through this much pain? Why are you putting yourself through, this type of surgery? Why are you breaking your legs intentionally? I think that's where the stigma is. Um,
Mm.
and that's kind of important too. And I think the more that people learn about this procedure, and the more people listen to your platform and platforms like this, that they'll learn more about it, and hopefully they'll ease their minds a little bit towards it.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
fear of the
for sure,
unknown.
definitely agree. People ask like, why would you put? There's actually an older lady, probably 60 or so, in the same clinic I go to, with Dr. Gito, because she sees other patients too, and I think she has some sort of hip fracture, and she's asking, are you one of the people that are trying to grow taller? Because she knows the surgeon also makes people taller, and she's like, I don't know why people would put them through so that's like, I just didn't say anything and shut my mouth and but
Man,
that
she
that
doesn't
definitely when I love.
understand, man.
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, why would you do this to yourself, kind of deal, right?
It's
um
so true. It's
to
so
me,
true.
I would like, I could explain it now. It's just like on it, like I think I said to Victor before the other guests joined, like, this is nothing compared to what I have gone through already. Like, this is absolutely nothing. Like, wearing the heels were so much more painful than what I'm going through right now. I can honestly say that, have as somebody that was wearing those heels for so long, but the back pain it gave me, just the activities I couldn't do, it's awful. What I'm going through right now with broken legs, nothing. Like, so little compared to what I went through in my life.
with
Like,
broken
so
legs.
that's what I want to say to them, but they're not gonna understand that, right? So yeah. Anyways, I'll shut
No,
up.
oh, that's good, man. That's good input. All right, so we got this next one from Aiden. Hey Vic, like I mentioned on the consult the other day, I told my closest family I thought it would be hard, but it turned out to be easy, and honestly, I felt really good to say it. So there you go, Aiden. Yeah, man, thank you for sharing that. And this is actually why I picked this topic of discussion today was because of your consultation, because it inspired me so much to hear you tell them and them to be so supportive. Because a lot of times I'll hear a patient, let's say take a younger guy who's 26, 27, they'll tell their mom, their dad, they're like, why would you want to do that? They come at them with like this aggression, this very, rude awakening. But then you told people, and everybody was supportive and, the arms open. I think that's how it should be. It's not always that way. I wish it was, but in your case, it was. And I think that's why I brought up this topic of discussion is get people talking about this. So that's awesome, Aiden.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think like half the people I told are good, the other half not good. So
Yeah.
it's great that he got that though.
Right. Omar saying, "What's the price of the procedure?" And then somebody said 13,000 through 100,000. I don't know where you can get this done for 13,000. I mean, I probably could guess.
Somebody's basement and
Yeah, exactly. Right, right. And there's places. All right, let's see here. We got a few more. We're almost hitting the hour mark. Let's see. What's the ideal? Oh, Ben knows. What's up, Ben? What's the ideal centimeter you need to get when you lengthen your humerus? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think that surgeons have said 5 centimeters because a smaller bone. All right. So Monday morning, are there any updates on when the Stride or PMAX would be returning to the market? If ever, I don't know for sure. I have heard quarter 3, quarter 4 of this year. The company hasn't come out with any official updates. When I know, I'll make sure you know, but it could be next year, mid next year, who knows? But hopefully it'll be this year. So I know there's a lot of patients that are waiting for that. Hypochondro, hypochondroplasia. Don't use that. That's too
Victor,
much.
I did hear that when the Max comes out, I'm not. It's just a rumor, but this is be more expensive because the nail's going to be more expensive.
What's that?
I think so, yeah, for sure.
Say it
The nail,
again.
when the P Max nail finally comes out,
Yeah.
it's a rumor that I heard that it's going to be more expensive. Like,
What?
yeah,
No, it's in the, but
Where did you hear this rumor, Ahmed?
from my doctor, I don't from actual
Well,
ruminants.
I mean, unless he was talking to the same research group that I was talking to, who was talking to Globus, I don't know how valid that is because I know you're right. Maybe because the research group was talking to Globus about how to remarket this thing, but and they did ask in that questionnaire how much would you pay for limb lengthening,
but
which
wasn't Stride more expensive?
I don't think so. Stride was like 30K, I think. I don't think it was, maybe it was 40K.
I thought like that's what I thought they would go up in price for Precise Max a bit.
They already
Like,
did though. They already did the first time it came out. Like they're not going to come back and make it more expensive. That would be
oh
dumb. Like, cause
Yeah,
no, no, that would be
it was just he just kind of said it as if it was like a possibility. Because I asked him, I said, when I'm getting my nails replaced, I said, what is there any new nail coming out? And he was like, no. And if there is, it might be more expensive. And I'm thinking, you know,
well, that's interesting you say that because I guess you can say like whoever comes out with a weight bearing nail, and if you're the only one there, you can price it whatever you want. People will pay for it. There are people with deep pockets, right? They'll pay for it. But the thing is that if you are not the only one there and you have competition, you're in trouble. You better mark up the value on your product, or else you're going to get bought out by somebody else. So I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure if there is not another medical device company working on a weight bearing nail, they're just missing their opportunity. They're missing a big opportunity to make money. I've actually reached out to a few companies and LinkedIn to hire high up, business development teams and engineers. All crickets. I think I've tried a few of them.
well,
Strike.
who's
Yeah.
to say that a surgeon isn't going to mark it up? You know,
Well, they can. But then they'd have to justify because then if a patient finds out how much those nails are being, how much the base price for the nail is, because the nail company sells to the surgeon, it's B2B,
Mhm.
then the surgeon sells to the patient. So if they mark it up higher, then they better justify that price for their service and their package, because if not, then the patient's going to go elsewhere, right? So now if you have a more experienced surgeon, they can mark it up whatever they want because you're paying for experience. But if they just say, oh, that's the price of the nail, which I've heard of a surgeon, I think in Texas or somewhere, doing this, and the patient didn't know, but they consulted with me, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "You're going to a surgeon who's less experienced than other surgeons, and he's telling you that the price of the nails there, he's making like 120 grand. He's charging you 120 grand for just femurs." I was like, "Yeah, I'm glad you talked to me today." So there's a
That's all.
lot of like shady stuff going on in the industry. It's a very dirty, mercenary industry, but so.
I was just saying compared to Precise 2.2 that they would mark it up. I didn't know they're going to mark it up even more from whatever they had
Yeah,
now.
no, I mean, it was marked up by I think 10, 15K. But they can't,
Right. Yeah.
but a clinic can't mark it up more than the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
device company sells it to them. Because if they
Yeah. That'll be
do,
the
and you
same.
find out the base price, like I said, it just
Yeah.
falling on. Okay. All right, guys. So I think let's see. James is back. What's up, James? All right. So I think he's saying, what do we got here? What's up? What's up? What's up? You see any chat? Do you see the chat here, MD and everybody? Can you see it?
I see dead. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I
Okay.
see. I
Okay,
see
here we go.
Josh. I see Josh.
Let's take a few more, and then we'll call it because this is new software. I'm trying to practice with it anyway. So hold on, I'm trying to show this on. No, it's not coming up on stream. Wait, they're not coming on stream here. Hide. Uh-oh. Now it's like glitched up. It's not working. I'm trying to.
I see. I mean, the last one we did was, are there any updates? And I can see the comments. I mean, questions if you want me to go.
Yeah, but I'm trying to share the comments and like I'm pressing the show on stream and it's not working. I'll leave for a second. You talk real quick, MD. I'm gonna leave and I'll come right back. I'm just gonna see. Let's see.
Okay.
Recording's in progress. We'll continue with that. Are you sure you want to leave? Okay, I'll be right back. I just want to see if it'll.
Oh no, we lost picture. We took over the show, guys.
Hey, MD, how many millimeters a day are you doing 1 millimeter a day?
I really want to buy that thing you said. I'm at go look it up.
You know, I was doing 0.75 a day. Are you doing 1 millimeter a day?
Oh, where'd everybody go?
James is saying, did anyone go to Dr.
Ahmed?
Shahab?
Can you guys hear me?
Can I ask who your surgeon is? Or
Yeah, I can hear you. Where's
there
everybody
we go.
else?
Oh no, I think they're here.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, my
Yo,
surgeon.
yo.
There we go.
Oh, okay. That was so weird. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
We lost
cool.
you and then we just went quiet for a bit.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Anyway, cool. So go ahead. Resume.
You know,
No, we weren't saying anything. I was just looking
Oh,
at the
okay. All right. So let's get to some of these last questions in here. Oh, okay. There's the chat. All right. We're going to go through. I think it's loading the chat. Oh, yeah. It's not. Oh, what the? Is there two of me?
Oh, I forgot what I was. I
Any
think I was thinking who was the surgeon was Dr. Ahmed, I believe.
oh yeah,
Oh, it froze.
I'm in
I don't
Baltimore,
know.
Dr.
Oh,
Asiaga.
Baltimore. Oh, okay.
did anybody go to Dr. Shahab out in LA?
That's a comment, right? On the YouTube.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know any patients that I've followed in Victor's channels for so long but I heard good things about him, and I think Victor has interviewed him. Yeah, there is an interview from him, and he is, I believe, in the right, and is one of the good surgeons to go to for sure. But I don't personally know of any patients or heard of any patients on Victor's stuff yet. But I think he's a good guy, or he's a good surgeon. He was on the surgeon roundtable too, that Victor did in December when he got all like the top surgeons of the world, and he asked a bunch of questions. So
Okay.
I don't think he's a good surgeon to go to for sure.
Cool.
What area are you in,
Who are
James?
you planning to go to, or do you have any like?
That's what I was planning to. That's what I was planning to go to. He
Oh,
has an office out in Glendale, I think, or Burbank, somewhere out in the LA area. And he's
yeah,
like,
probably Burbank. I think I did reach out to them. I think I asked them a question or something, and somebody somebody messaged me back or emailed me back, and I believe I spoke to them actually at the reception. I had some questions for them. They seem like nice people for sure, and I think they're a good place to go to.
Did any of you guys finance a surgery, or you guys all pay cash?
Um,
I
Only
saved
for
I
sorry,
saved up cash for mine.
no,
Uh-oh, you got some technical difficulties.
they got double cyborgs. He said, no, no, I don't.
Hear an echo. Do you hear an echo? No?
No.
No,
I, okay. I'll just have to deal with this. Um, okay. What's going on? Anyway, we're pretty much done anyway. I gotta play with this stuff. What were you guys talking about? Sorry about that.
I think
James,
we're financing.
yeah, some different
Okay.
location, good location to go.
There's like 3 of you now. I swear this
No,
is
the financing. No, we're talking about right after
okay.
financing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I was
yeah.
asking you guys about the financing because I could pay cash, but I don't want to go to cheap route, man. I don't. That's why I'm like,
No,
okay,
no,
like
no,
I'm on a time schedule too, you know.
right. I think Victor also did a YouTube video on this about financing, about you know, doing a loan and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure you did one, Victor. I remember watching it. I mean, if ideally not, but I'm financing a bit of it too. I'm like for backup money, I would say have something financed in my opinion. But don't get it out from, the insanely high interest rate people because it's just not worth it. Try so I don't know anything. I would say for me, anything over 10% interest is just it's not worth it. Just save up a bit more. Um, but there's something I'm doing. I don't know. I'm in Canada, so they may be different options. But there's something called balance transfer credit cards, and you can get very low interest rates on that for like 12 months or something. And that's a that is so far the best route I found to avoid the interest to get the lowest amount of interest for finance.
Wait, so
Uh,
you're doing a balance transfer? Like, are you just doing a one-time balance transfer, or are you doing it like every 12 months, or?
yeah. So right now I'm planning to do it every like few months. Or like, right now I'm on a balance transfer offer that gives me for 12 months. But then once that 12 months runs out, then it goes back to the very high credit card interest rate. But then at that point, you have to transfer it to a different place or just pay off the debt at that point.
Ahmed,
But it is a way. As far as I know,
can you hear me?
there's probably better ways, but this is what I found that you can get the lowest interest rate possible is by having multiple balance transfer cards and you balance transfer from one or to another. And that is you only have to pay the balance transfer fee or a very low percentage. Um, but you got to be on top of it, right? You can't, like I say, after 1 year, you don't pay that back, you're screwed, right? So that's my goal so far, plan so far. If I am some of the things I am funding, but yeah.
Okay, okay,
But I mean,
yeah.
otherwise, it's still a risk. Like it's you're better off kind of do your savings, but um, yeah, sometimes.
I seen Victor's video on the light stream loan. I was just thinking
Yeah, yeah,
about maybe going with the installment loan because
Can you hear me?
I
yeah.
heard it's not really
Can you
going to
guys hear me?
affect your credit as much if you do than the
Right.
credit cards.
The balance transfer one. I mean, for me, it's
That's
not
weird.
affecting my credit, but I
Testing.
started out with really good high credit score, so it's not affecting
Okay.
mine as much because I already. It depends on
All
how if
right. So there is some
you got to
technical
research into the
difficulties,
credit.
guys. I can't see
But
you on here. I will be. We try new software. I don't know who's talking, but I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna
can you
end the
hear me?
show
Can you
because
hear us?
I gotta
You
talk to their
can't hear
support
us.
team. We might not switch just yet. There's some issues. Seems like it's great podcasting software for editing. I don't know. I can't really hear anything right now. Can't see anybody on the screen besides Ahmed. But anyway,
Yeah, I can hear you, Victor. I don't
Oh, you
think
can
I
hear
can
anybody.
me?
hear you.
Can you hear anybody
Yeah.
else?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear MD and I hear James. I don't think they. I don't think you hear them.
I don't hear
Yeah.
them. I hear
I
you,
hear everybody.
I hear
which
everyone
is
too. Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, me.
Victor can't hear us. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. You just can't hear them.
Yeah, okay. This is good. This is why we tried new software, right? So I got to
Yeah.
talk to them and haggle these people before I get out of the 14-day trial. They either sell me on, the work that it's going to work, or we're going to go back to the old platform. It's crazy. This is like one of the best ones on the market. I don't think they're. I mean, let's go to Ecamm next. But anyway, no, I want to thank everybody. Ahmed, Master Distractor, for coming on. James, for sharing you guys' thoughts on this topic of discussion, what you should tell people after you get limb lengthening done. All you people in the chat with your amazing questions. It's been great. Yeah, so we'll do this again. I don't know if it'll be on this software or not. But we'll see if they can fix it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for episode 155 of Limb Lengthening Live. So until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life. These awesome patients signing out. See you guys next time. Peace.